A lot of people find the subject of brass knuckles to be a very interesting thing. It also gets a rise out of a lot of people, and there's no shortage of opinions when it comes to brass knuckles. But in this video, we're going to be looking at plastic knuckles and some of the different types that are available and the advantages. Stick around. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for joining and welcome to Feel Good Friday here on 411 Outdoors. Fridays in and of themselves are feel good to me, but today it's perfect weather. Spring is on its way. It's at the door. We got us a 70-degree day here in Virginia. But you know what else makes me feel good? Options. And that's all plastic knuckles are, an option. You may or may not believe it's a good option, but it is an option, and it's an option a lot more legal and available than brass. I already know in this video there's going to be tough guys in the comments that say only cowards use these things. Well, you know, I say anybody who uses something in a legit self-defense situation to equalize themselves from being pummeled in the street is somebody that I respect. I don't consider somebody like that a coward. I mean, after all, we're not out here promoting going and getting in stupid street fights over nothing. If you're just going toe-to-toe with somebody that you're having an argument with and you decide to put on a pair of knuckles and pummel that person, well, you're probably going to go to jail because it's probably not going to be seen as self-defense. Number two, that situation can be avoided in the first place. So this video is not for you street sluggers out there. This video is for people looking for some equalization out here in these mean streets. And it's one of many options. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. This video has been sponsored by a USA company called NonMetallic. They specialize in making plastic ergonomic knuckles, and they are the sponsor of this video, and I'm going to be showcasing the knucks that they have on their website. The first benefit I want to talk about with plastic knuckles is probably the most obvious, and that is they are super light. They are paperweight, and they're easy to carry. The problem with a lot of EDC items that we choose is we go on to discover they're not that comfortable to carry. Therefore, we don't carry them. No matter how effective the item is, we don't carry it because it's not comfortable. Well, plastic knuckles are very easy to carry. These are the three types of plastic knuckles you can find at NonMetallic. These are the standard plastic knuckles. These are the ergonomic knuckles, and this is the single knuckle. I really dig this one. I'm going to talk more about it throughout the video. But these are priced very well, very inexpensive. They come in different sizes, obviously, different colors as well. These are made in the USA, and they are all very, very light. It doesn't even feel like you've got anything in your pocket. So that's one of the advantages to this type of EDC self-protection tool, is that you don't even know you've got it on you. The second advantage to plastic knuckles is also very obvious, and that is they are non-metallic. They can clear metal detectors. Let me tell you something you already know, my friend. Bad guys don't care about laws, and bad guys exist everywhere. They exist here in the USA, and they exist all over the world, and they don't care about laws. So having something non-metallic that you can access if you're in a bad situation is an advantage. I've had individuals here on YouTube who live in countries where you're not allowed to carry anything for self-defense say things like, you know, I'm glad I don't live in America where I have to live in fear. Well, I want to say this as well with all due respect. Evil exists everywhere. Evil people exist everywhere, and you can take a rock and turn it into a weapon. Just because you have a government that doesn't allow you to carry anything doesn't mean that you're safe just because you're in that situation. It doesn't take having access to a firearm to get out and do damage to people. You can make a weapon out of a stick. You can make a weapon out of a rock, out of anything that's around. People are the weapons. And to all the people who say that we Americans carry what we do for self-protection because we live in fear, my response is it has nothing to do with living in fear. It's all about being responsible and knowing the kind of world that you live in. But am I telling you to take them through every metal detector type of place you have to enter into? Nope. I did not tell you to do that. Use your own discretion. I'm just saying the fact that they're non-metallic is an advantage in that regard. These are all made with very solid plastic, and in the past I've talked about the right and the wrong way to hold brass knuckles to keep from hurting your hand in a real life encounter. But this one right here is probably my favorite out of all of these. I can hit hard surfaces with a lot of force and it still doesn't hurt my hand. Even when you're holding these the right way, when you crash into a hard surface, you feel a little bit more pain in the hand than you do with this. And I think it has something to do with just the really nice swell in the hand there. I'm gonna crash into some harder surfaces with this one in my hand. Just gonna get into this one kind of tight. So I'm good to go. Here's another hard target with some give using this. So again, it feels solid. It's never going to be a pleasant thing hitting something that hard, and not all parts of the human body respond like a solid piece of wood, but I'm just demonstrating that even when you're hitting something hard and unpleasant, you can still have a lot of comfort with something like this, just because it's such a swell in the hand. Keep in mind as well, you don't have to swing for the fences with these things all the time. It's not about how hard you swing. Sometimes you don't have to swing as hard to be effective with these things. The third benefit to plastic knuckles is they are not as highly regulated. Now again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not here to talk about laws. I'm just here to speak the facts that I do know. And what I know is that there is less regulation on plastic knuckles than there are brass. And again, the responsibility of finding out your state laws falls upon you, the viewer, my friend. I did a video a while back on brass knuckles, and one of the things I talked about in that video is how they're like completely illegal in like 20-some states here in the US. Another advantage to plastic knuckles is it can be a less than lethal option. Some brass knuckles are heavy enough to be absolutely lethal. Now let's be balanced. Anytime somebody's taking blows to the head, it can be fatal. But plastic knuckles are a lot less likely to be fatal than something like brass. The final advantage that I'll talk about in this video is diversity of striking. You don't have to just punch with a pair of plastic knuckles. There are multiple ways to strike with them. You don't just have to take these and blast this way. You can take a pair of knucks like this. You can hammer strike with them. You can hammer strike here. You can use the side of this to hammer strike with. You can come from the back and hammer strike that way. You can use very specific points to strike to vitals, places like eyes. It's not just about boom, socking them. You can use these things with a strike. You can do a hammer grip. You can come back, you can strike backwards. Something like this can be a huge advantage in hitting those vital areas. You can only imagine what it feels like taking a shot to the solar plexus with something like this, or even a back fist to the eye. This right here will allow you to strike in some of those small key pressure point areas. When we're using our fist, we're just focusing on the primary knuckles anyway, but you know, in a bad enough situation, you know, where your life was in danger or you was under severe attack, something like this, boom, into that trachea could be very devastating. Again, you better have a good reason if you're gonna strike like that, because a strong strike to the trachea with something like this could be very devastating, or to the eye. So again, it's not just about being a slugger and throwing standard punches. You can hammer strike with these things. You can come in, hammer strike here, back strike this way. You can hit key areas. And again, you can take something like this and really target those vitals. And a back fist to the eye, it's really quick. You can do ridge hand with knuckles, coming right into that vital area behind the jaw, under the ear, bang. Just right in there. You don't have to come straight in. You can ridge hand. There are other strikes I could cover, but the point is it's a diverse striking tool. What's your thoughts on plastic knuckles? I'm sure that the comment section is going to be busy on this one because this is a hot topic. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear any story that you have to tell with regards to legalities, situations you may have been in. All of that stuff will be helpful for the viewer. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.